location change, but here we have Exhibit D, more feet pics. Feet. Oh, hold on. Hold. Technical difficulties. The video stopped recording, so.
There we go.
We rolling?
Yep, we're going.
All right. Since I'm still kind of new here at Hollywood Arts, everyone's been bugging me to make more videos and post them here on my Slack page. You're sniffing me.
You wear a new perfume?
No, but I ate a salad with ranch dressing.
Zesty ranch?
I think so.
I knew it.
Okay. So if you checked out my Slack page earlier this week, you'll see that I posted an update saying that if you leave me a comment telling me anything you want to see me do as a performer, like sing, dance, tell a joke, whatever, I will make a video doing it for you.
Should we see what you got?
Yeah, let's read them.
Checking Tori's comments. Okay, the first one says, "Hey Tori, why don't you stand in the middle of the Hollywood freeway during rush hour?" That's from Jade.
Of course it is. Let's read the next one.
Okay. Tori, please pour ketchup all over your feet.
Okay, what is wrong with people?
Just do it.
But that's not performing.
Come on, just do it.
No, but why should I don't want to get my feet all...
Okay, on 3, I'm gonna...
Just do it!
Alright. There we go. Spread your toes, girl.
Woo! I still say this is not performing.
Alright. Let's turn on some music. Make your feet dance.
What?
Dance is performing.
But...
So as you can see, that video just showed proof that Dan Schneider has a feet fetish, which just has been a rumor, but as you can tell by the multiple clips that we've just watched, it's pretty accurate, and making them do weird stuff and exposing their feet to like the entire world, and that's just not okay. So next. Okay, so next we have The Quiet on Set, which was a documentary that dropped all of the tea about Dan. And so many Nickelodeon stars have come on the show, or the documentary, to talk about their experiences, how they were mentally abused and, went through destructive times, and it was a very toxic environment to be around, and they really just emphasize that in the clips of the show, which I'm about to show.
Quiet on Set exposed a ton of disgusting things about Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider. But did you know there were so many things they had to leave out for a variety of reasons? The producers of the documentary had to rely on people who were willing to go on the record, and a ton of people who could speak out are legitimately scared for their careers. And that's where we come in. Because since we aren't airing on national television, I can get into all sorts of things that Quiet on Set couldn't even touch. While yes, some of these revelations are based in speculation or rumors, some of them have been corroborated and openly discussed by people who were there. And most of this stuff is way more outrageous than what was covered in the documentary. So let's get into the full story of what really happened to these victims of Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. Dan Schneider produced and wrote some of the most impactful kids shows of the last 3 decades, like iCarly, Victorious, The Amanda Show, all that, Drake and Josh, and more. But by pretending to be this faux father figure figure to the vulnerable child stars on his sets, he's molded his protege's brains to make them susceptible to not only his fantasies, but the sexual fantasies of his creepy friends and even some colleagues on set. And his reach even spread beyond the child actors. He was fulfilling his fantasies through the kids at home who watched the shows. That sounds wild and dark, I know, but the evidence is all there. The subliminal messages, the court cases, the hush money, the psychology behind it all, the feet, so many feet, and even the bombshells so huge Nickelodeon's been forking out money to silence them for years. Like multiple pregnancy scandals. And it all starts with Dan's first golden child and victim, the purest example of Dan's desire to be both a dark father figure and an exploitative admirer, Amanda Bynes. Before we go any further, I need you to keep in mind as we go through this roller coaster of disgust that this is how young Amanda was the first time a 30-year-old Dan scouted her in one of these creepy comedy showcases for children. Initially, Dan hadn't intended to add any new talent to his current show, all that, but as soon as he saw Amanda, he was obsessed.
Is God sitting up there in heaven, looking down at me and saying, Amanda's had it pretty easy.
He quickly put her on his show and immediately began showcasing an intense favoritism, an unsettling obsession with his newest protege.
There would be times where Amanda would just be missing. And a lot of times we would just hear that she would be with Dan.
You have to remember, Dan was the dream maker for all these young, aspiring stars. But most of these kids didn't get the Star is Born, plucked from a comedy stage moment. They had to go through rounds and rounds of casting that had creepy elements themselves. We'll get back to those. Or for some others, they'd have to rise through the ranks at Dan's notorious child comedy boot camps. And yes, it gets immediately creepy. Because these comedy boot camps, where kids were sent without their parents, not only were they run by Dan and special guests like convicted pedophile Brian Peck, who we'll get back to, but also these comedy boot camps, for some reason, entailed regular kid-only pool parties. That's right, no parents, just grown men and a bunch of very young Hollywood hopefuls in bathing suits. It's been said that Megan Fox and Hilary Duff both got their big breaks from these creepy pool parties too.
As you can see, Dan has put so many actors through so much, and there's so many things behind the scenes that you might not have seen, that no one can see, and that only the actor that knows what happens. And sometimes rumors can get spread, and sometimes the truth never comes out because some people are too scared to talk about it. So as we come to a conclusion, all of these things are super weird that Dan has made and he's caused extreme trauma to actors to the point where they're no longer wanting to do acting. Like, for example, Sam from Sam and Cat, or from iCarly. She was an amazing actor, and all the mental abuse that she went through with Dan, she just decided to put the acting away. And she speaks about it as well. She has a documentary, which you should go check that out. But because of him, there's been like many assumptions and rumors going around about like teens hiding pregnancies, as you saw in the documentary on Set, and so much more. But do you really think that all this could be a publicity stunt? I mean, or do you think that to get more famous than he already is, even though his shows were hits, do you think that he would do this so that, it would get people to like raise question and then start watching more? Many people say he did this for fame, and others might think that he's just creepy and just has a fetish of feet and, putting people in awkward positions, So